Welcome to everyone here. Thank you so much for coming, and welcome to everyone on the channel. If you guys are watching us, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm here to talk with you about creative streaming. And before I will start, I just want to say that, first of all, apologies for my accent. I'm not native American. I came all the way from Poland. It was a very long way, but it's my first MAGFest, and it's really cool. I really enjoy it so far. So yeah, I was thinking about what kind of a panel to submit to this wonderful festival, and I came up with creative streaming because I bet that every single person here in the audience is in some way creative. And just to let you know, I don't believe in talent, because I believe talent means more a drive to do something because you consider it awesome. And it doesn't matter if you can do it right, if you do it for a long time, you just happen to learn it. I was actually studying art for some time, so believe me, people who came into the college at the first year couldn't draw at all, and then they end up having a job in a game design business. So don't worry about it. If you are not actually doing anything cool, or at least you think that you're not doing anything cool, I'm quite sure this speech will have something for you. All right, so let me start with introducing myself. Hi, I'm Outstar, and I am a streamer mostly. I stream at Twitch TV/OutstarWalker. That's a very long nickname, and I know it's horrible, but anyway, that's the place where I spend most of my evenings and nights. And additionally, I work in two ways. First of all, I work for GOG.com, which is the company that releases games, and we have a Twitch channel where we stream indie games, old games, all sorts of games, also creative stuff sometimes. And I partner up other streamers for GOG.com. The other thing I'm doing is I'm actually developing a game. The game is called Cold Hearts, and it's a dating sim about refrigerators. But it's very serious. Yeah, that's me. Hey. Yeah, it's actually a very serious project. So don't get me wrong. It's not all about jokes. It's very serious. So let me start. Creative streaming. What does creative streaming means? It's not only about drawing, because people usually connect it with drawing because they think that it looks the best on streams, but not really. You can code on streams, you can do modeling, you can do writing, you can do music making, sculpting, 3D printing, basically anything that involves some sort of creative incentive, It's really up to you. You can do anything, and I'm sure that all of you have some skills to showcase to other people. So this is a little example of what we did back in the days, and that's kind of like a very untypical creative stream, because this was a triple creative trio where we streamed painting, music making, and writing at the same time. So my friend Arvan Elron in the bottom left corner, he actually is a writer, and he publishes his fantasy books in US under his real name, Gregory A. Wilson. And he was writing a story. And while he was writing the story, I was illustrating it in the top left corner. And in the top right corner, my friend Chronowolf was actually composing the music at the same time. So we were doing it for 3 hours, and at the end, I had 2 illustrations done, my friend has the whole story done, and there was a really cool musical score made for it. It made us really focus, because we knew that we have to keep up to the other people. So that was one of the, I think, the best creative streams I've ever done in my life. So I wanted just to show you that all of these things is possible to showcase to people, and people really enjoy it. But you can ask, but why? Why do that? Why don't you just, lock yourself in the basement and do it yourself? Because it's kind of creepy to show what you do to other people. Well, here's a quote from Ashley that I found online, and this quote says, "My main reason for joining was to get that extra push and motivation to create when I got home from a long day at work." You don't have to be very extrovert to do that. You don't have to, because I'm not really extrovert. You don't have to really want to shine, or you don't have to think best of yourself and your work, because no one really does. But it actually gives you an incentive to work. It gives you this extra push to focus on your work, and at the other hand, you can actually get some additional benefits from it, like people that actually follow you, follow your work, and really like what you do. So the benefits from streaming are, first of all, getting audience for your project. And that's really important, especially for game developers. So if you ever thought about making a game, I have to tell you, this is the way to go. I really recommend all the game developers who don't have a publisher, who, just starting their projects, even when you're doing a game jam or something like that. just start streaming and stream whatever you do, because people watching you stream will most likely want to play your game later on. That's what I was doing with Cold Hearts. So I was actually streaming a lot of the development of the game, and that's why I think maybe that's was one of the main reasons why we got the green light like super fast. Like we didn't have to wait for months like other people do. I basically, we launched green light and we got the green light after 11 days, which was super fast for people who were super not known in the game development business. Then again, you can force yourself to focus on work. Sometimes it doesn't work, though, I have to admit, because sometimes the chat is talking to you and you really want to talk back. So sometimes it really prolongs the work that you do. But on the other hand, you feel this incentive that I have to do something right now. Like people are watching me, I have to showcase my best. So for me, it was actually a very good idea to get through some of the tougher times of my game development, because I really didn't want to spend another night doing illustrations. So I was just, popping up the stream, saying that I will stream creative and I will paint for Cold Hearts, and I knew I had to do it for at least a few hours or else people would be disappointed. So I was forcing myself to do that this way, and in the end I was grateful of the idea because I actually finished the assets for my game quicker. Additional income. Now, I will talk a little bit more about the income later, because I know that's an important thing for a lot of people. The thing is, it's something that should be considered additionally. Other benefits come first. Money may never come from Twitch or YouTube, because that's a very difficult business to start and kickstart yourself in. But it does come in time, and you can be pretty much surprised how much can you earn from it if you are actually showing your creative work. Self-improvement. A lot of people come to your channel after a while when you're doing creative work, and some of them start to critique you. Criticize you. There are some people who tell you when you're drawing that the head is too big or the hand is too big. Some of those people absolutely don't make sense, of course, so you shouldn't listen to all of them. But I personally found out that a lot of people coming to my channel actually helped me get better at what I do, because I had some cool artists visiting my channel and just telling me, hey, you could change that a little bit and that work will be even better. And it really helped me. And the last but not least, that's for me the most important thing. It's educating others. I don't know why, but I really feel that there is a mission behind this. When you're doing a creative stream, you are actually making other people get inspired, get motivated to do their own job. And I can't tell you, I can really say with my words how great of a feeling it is to hear from other people that, hey, because of you, I bought my first tablet to start drawing. Or because of you, I came back to my sketchbook that I dropped years ago and started drawing again. And that's, for me, an extremely, extremely important thing that really helped me keep going and motivated me to do a better job. This is a kind of funny little passage, but weird things that streamers do well. This is kind of advice. If you guys do want to start streaming, I won't be telling you about how to use OBS or how to use XSplit or other tools to stream, because you can find that online and it's pretty self-explanatory. But there are things that the guidebooks online won't really tell you. How to be a good streamer and how to start gaining viewers slowly, because that's really the most painful process. At first, you have to start there with no one in the channel, and you have to speak to the void. And you don't know if there's someone there. Sometimes there's a little red watcher button under the stream, so it shows you how many viewers there are. So you have 0 at the beginning, and sometimes there's 1, and then you say something, and there's 0 again. And you don't know if you did something wrong, but the first thing that I think is the most important for the starting streamers is yada yadding. You have to talk constantly. Even if there's no one watching, pretend that you're in front of the crowd. Now, I did this for a long time in my work when we were having this stream. We still have a stream team on Twitch TV Gokcom. And I was looking for new streamers to join us. I was looking for small people who are doing some cool stuff on their channels that would want to get the boost from a bigger channel and stream to a greater audience. So what I did is I was visiting channels streaming pretty niche games, usually old school stuff, or doing some very niche creative stuff, which, for example, drawing for a game. And I was checking them out, and I was silently just lurking there, seeing if they were good or not. And when I stood there for 20 minutes and I didn't hear one word, I was kind of disappointed, usually. So it's very important to just think that there will be people coming out of the blue, and you always have to look like you're having fun in there and like you're entertaining. It will be very hard at first, but you will get used to it. For me, it was a matter of kind of coming out of my shell, because I was an extreme introvert back in the days, and I really didn't want to talk to people publicly. And I imagined that there can be a crowd there, and a crowd of people can watch me right now, and what do I do? So I just started talking, and I was talking more and more, and it actually opened myself a little bit. You know, I had a very empty channel. I was just talking to get the practice, and then that practice gave me the viewers in the end. So talking is important. Playing family, once you get the viewers, you have to make them feel welcome. So you should make them feel at home, answer their questions, even if they need relationship advice. A lot of people use Twitch as this outlet because they don't really have people to hang out with. And I've met a lot of people who told me after years of streaming that I actually met a lot of people in your chat, and I'm very grateful because now I have friends and I feel a little bit better in this world. So if you are nice to your viewers, if you actually you don't have to make friends with them at first, but if you are at least pretending that you're a friend for these people, it really makes a lot of difference for your watchers and makes the whole channel feel a lot warmer and nicer. A lot of streamers do that, and I always feel really great when I come to the channel and I am greeted by the streamer, and the streamer says hello and asks about the day, and it's something that really makes a watcher feel important, and you should make your watchers feel important. Now, showing weaknesses, it's actually a very good thing, because I don't know any big streamer, either creative or non-creative, who is perfect. I don't know anyone who is constantly on the top of their game, constantly making the best streams of all time, and just, being absolutely amazing. Like, no one is that perfect. People do show weaknesses. Sometimes I am drawing and my drawing is just super ugly, or sometimes because I also play instruments on stream, sometimes I play bass and people tell me to play super hard songs which I can't pull off. And when that happens, people usually laugh and they have fun time, looking at me fail. And when you embrace that you can show weaknesses, and that's actually really enjoyable for people to see you at your best and at your worst moments, you will feel a lot more comfortable with what you do. Because I don't really think that people come to Twitch to see perfection, to see amazing stuff. They come there to get some kind of a connection. That's why we don't watch YouTube anymore, because on YouTube you don't have this connection. On Twitch you can go there, you can talk to the streamer, you get a reply back, and you can watch him or her, failing at some points. There's a reason why live stream fails are so popular, and that's why I think we should just embrace, even if you don't have a day to draw or to compose music or to code, if you fail, it's also enjoyable for your audience. So just remember that. Now, unfortunately, there are some risks, which I wouldn't be myself if I wouldn't mention. One thing is something I mentioned before. You can force yourself to work more doing creative streams, but you will probably work a little bit slower because of the answering to the chat, because of making sure that the stream is set up correctly, and all the other things. So sometimes I have to admit that during the development of my game, when I had to crunch on my projects insanely, I was just turning off the stream and I was taking a day off and I was doing it all off stream just to make it faster. When I couldn't make myself to do anything at all, I usually put the stream on to make this work. But I have to admit that creative work sometimes gets a little bit too slow on streams. But it's not really that big of a disadvantage if you consider all the benefits that you can get from it. Income-seeking trap is something I want to talk about a little bit longer, because it's not only the income-seeking trap, but popularity-seeking trap. And in general, there are two biggest reasons which make people quit Twitch. They really think that, or maybe they don't really think that it's going to be easy, but they have some expectations on how it's going to go. And their expectations, let's say, for example, say very good things like, all right, let's say that I will stream for 1 year and I will do it full-time, and after 1 year of streaming full-time, I will for sure get enough watchers to live from it, and I will for sure get enough popularity to grow further. Well, you don't have a guarantee. You never have a guarantee for that. So it is kind of important to have plans B's and C's when you go into the world of influencing, so either YouTube or Twitch. I think both of them are very similar in terms of they actually shattered a lot of people's hopes in the past. So I would totally want to convince you that it's not the reason you should start streaming, and it's not the reason you should keep on streaming. You start streaming to showcase what you do, especially if you want to do creative stuff, and you keep doing that for that little family that you grow. At first it's little, then it grows a little bit, then it grows a little bit. If it doesn't grow, it doesn't matter, because they're family for you. Your chat members are people who come to you regularly, and they really enjoy what you do. So that is the thing that should keep you going. If it's not enough, then I can't promise you anything more, and that's the problem. Well, another thing is the doxing. You will probably get malicious people on your streams, and it's something to be prepared for. I think that every streamer, I was actually a part of the Twitch culture long before I started streaming, so I knew how Twitch culture looks like. I started back in the days where 4chan raids were still pretty popular. Right now they're pretty dead, and no one actually does that anymore. But when I started, I actually was raided multiple times by hordes of people, suddenly hundreds of people on my channel saying slurs and very, very bad things at me. So I knew that back in the days that they often target women, and it's very important to stay calm when this happens and just not react or be kind. I know it sounds very weird, but being aggressive back at the trolls, it's usually a very, very quick slope down, and they will come more often just to trigger you more. And that's the thing that people learn while watching Twitch, but a lot of people go into streaming without knowing that no reply is sometimes the best reply. And it sometimes happens where, also people can, get in touch with your mates, pretend that there's someone, try to get some of your personal details. So it's also very important to protect yourself before you start streaming, because you never know when you're going to get popular. No one actually predicts that. And I think it's just important to be safe, both in real life and in the internet. Always remember that people can get some information about you from the internet, and just try to separate your private world from the streaming. Heavy criticism and trolling is also something that happens. Be prepared for it. That's the only thing I can tell you, because it will happen anyway. We can protect ourselves by having a lot of moderators, by just getting this team of people that is constantly in the chat and helps you out. But it's not going to save you forever, and it is a thing that you should just unfortunately grow a shell for. Just wear an armor in your brain and imagine that they just can't get to you, because it doesn't really matter. Those people usually do that just to keep you down, and if you don't react, that's the best answer, because they are very angry when you don't. But that's something that I actually say on every speech I do. It doesn't matter about the subject, but not every troll is your enemy. And the reaction to trolls, when people come to your channel to anger you, to make fun of you, or to do some funny things, when your reaction is positive, and if you are not actually getting angry, you can convert some of these people, which is kind of crazy. But I have to admit that a lot of people who are right now regulars on my channel were my ex-trolls. And they came to my channel to do some funny stuff. Of course, it was not very offensive, because that wouldn't really, happen to find a way to my friendship. But they came to my channel to make fun of me by, posting funny links, or making some jokes at me, trying to see what my reaction would be. And I strike back, I talk back, I laugh back at them. And some of them are really not only my regulars, but my moderators as well. They actually keep a guard on my channel right now. If these guys are watching right now on stream, I see you. So, words said on stream are much important than those written by audience. That's also something I wanted to quickly mention, because I had some problems with that in the past while I was moderating the team of streamers, which I'm still doing for the GOG.com. And one of our streamers was really mad at some girl in the chat that really didn't like his work. So basically, she was criticizing him a lot, and she was not very offensive in what she was doing, but she was pretty annoying. So what he did in reaction to that is he put his webcam on the full screen, and he started telling her that you don't know what you're doing, you have no idea, that was the whole plan, and you're wrong. So that was actually the worst reaction he could do, because he scared the poor woman away, and she didn't know what to do. She was really, really afraid of the reaction, and a lot of people in the chat were like, whoa, dude, that was a little bit of a reaction. So for me, by seeing a lot of streamers and by seeing a lot of people reacting to trolls like that, I gotta say, this is not the way. You gotta keep calm, you gotta make sure to relax when whatever happens on your Twitch, and just keep it going, because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of more people in there who are super positive and who are super into whatever work you're doing, and just keep on thinking about them, because that's the most important thing. So now let's talk a little bit more about how can you gain both audience and money by streaming, because every little artist, every growing creative person, whether you are a coder, whether you are a drawing artist or a sculptor, you kind of want to earn something from your work. So the three most important aspects of the revenue that will come from Twitch are commissions, donations, and ad revenue. Commissions are the most reliable ones. Now, it's really whatever you do. You can do a commission when you're a coder, you can do a commission when you do clothing, when you do cosplay, when you do anything. You can do something for other people. Just make sure that if you take a commission from someone that is watching you, that person allows you to stream that process. Because at this time, you can not only gain, for example, the revenue from that person, but you can also get some viewers in the end by streaming whatever you do. So for me, in my times when I was mostly focusing on creative streams, commissions was the most reliable way to get revenue and to actually live from it. And a lot of people, just came to my channel, asked me if I can make them emoticons, if I can make them some painting. And when I was in a time when I have a lot of free time, additionally, apart from the work, I was accepting a lot of those projects. And it not only made me a better artist, but also gave me some pocket money. Donations bits, well, this is super unreliable, and as a streamer, I'm actually streaming for 3 years right now. When I would show you the charts of donations that I get, it would be like this. You can never see, you can never predict if at this particular month you're going to get a lot of donations and if they're going to help you live your life, or if you're going to get nothing. You can't predict what your viewers are preparing for you. So unfortunately, this is a very unreliable way of earning money on Twitch. Same goes with subscriptions after you get the Twitch affiliate or Twitch partnership. And bits are basically the same as donations, but they are made in the Twitch currency, which is then converted to dollars. So with bits, Twitch is actually taking some of the part of the revenue, and with straight donations, you can get them to your PayPal. You probably have to tax them additionally. I'm not really sure how the law in the States works, but yeah, unreliable, but it can really surprise you. Sometimes super small channels, out of the blue, get few $100s of donations from someone who really appreciates your work. So especially for creative streamers, I think this is a pretty much more reliable source than for gamers, because we have tons of gamers out there, and creative streamers are more special. I have to admit that. When I usually go to creative channels to watch them, I usually see bigger numbers in donations than I see on gamer channels. And ad revenue, well, that's just the last point to mention, because it exists, but it doesn't really matter, because that's the least % of the money you usually get from Twitch, and you're only eligible to get it once you are either a Twitch affiliate or a Twitch partner. I'm not really sure which one it is, but affiliate gives you, to get an affiliate, you basically have to stream consecutively for some time. You have to show Twitch that you really, treat it very seriously. But you don't have to get any sort of the viewers. You don't have to actually get any, like at least 75 viewers on every single stream. Affiliation comes with your work. So if you just work hard on your channel, affiliation will come sooner or later, and it allows you to earn money from subs and bits, and have some of your personal emoticons, and also probably the ad revenue, but I cannot really vouch for that right now. And partnership gives you all that, plus the ad revenue for sure, plus more emoticons, and a cool tick, like it means anything. But that's basically the difference. Back in the days, there was only the Twitch partnership, which was super hard to get. It took me 2 years to get partnership after full time of streaming. So I'm very happy that right now, basically everyone has a chance to earn money from Twitch because of the affiliation. So what kind of income can you expect? casually streaming once a year, donations, maybe, if you're super lucky, bits. That actually changed. You can get bits right now because, no, sorry, you cannot, because you can't really become a Twitch affiliate if you're streaming just once a year. So, okay, I was right in there. You cannot get the bits when you're streaming just once a year, and subscriptions ad revenue, that also won't happen because you have to be affiliated to get both of those. Then you have a Twitch affiliate. So basically, if you put enough work in your channel, you're streaming regularly, you can get donations, you can get bits, and you can get subs and ad revenue. That is all up to your viewers, though. So make sure that you're not basing your livelihood on your upcoming Twitch channel, because you might be disappointed. It's very important to start doing it for something different than money, and money will come in time. Twitch partner, also you get all of them. It's pretty cool because I actually did the similar chart on one speech I did a year ago, and I had to, write nope, 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 nope in here because Twitch affiliation, you can only get donations as a Twitch affiliate, and right now Twitch affiliates actually get everything. So yeah, you don't have to actually have the minimum watchers to, you can actually have just minimum watchers to get all these kind of revenue. Okay, so that'll be all for the creative streaming. I will happily get all your questions because I think we have plenty of more time. Oh, we don't actually. Crap, that was long. But if you have any questions about streaming or anything, I'll be happy to answer. Can we help out with some microphones in there maybe? Or can we start with it? Yeah, yeah, yes.
So this is going back to your yada yada section.
Okay.
How do you decide what to talk about when you're drawing? Because I have no idea what topics to go to.
I think it could come naturally to you, but if you really, like after a while, you just, whatever people in the chat say, then you reply back. But if there are no people in the chat at the particular moment, you can just start with describing what you're doing right now and describing your work, what you want to achieve with it. Basically talk about this particular thing, and after a while, it can change to what your day was, what you ate for dinner, literally anything. All these things are, for some reason, very, very attractive to your audience. Whether you're talking about what you have had for dinner, you are a personality that people come to watch, so don't be afraid to talk about anything, really. But you can start with just talking about your work and what got you to draw it, and stuff like that. So I think it will actually help. Okay. I force myself because I have a schedule. So if I don't stream with the schedule, then people are disappointed. And it's kind of like this thing where sometimes I really don't have a day to stream, and it's good to take a day off once in a while, of course, because there is this mentality through the popular streamers that you shouldn't really that you shouldn't really take any breaks, because breaks always equal less subs, less revenue, less everything. So. It is important to take days off just for your brain, take a little brain relax day, but just because my viewers wait for me, and if you don't have viewers or you don't think that you have viewers yet, it's to get viewers, like you should have this motivation that if you don't stream, if you stream less, then you have a less chance for people to find you. Because Twitch channels are only displayed in the search on Twitch if you are actually streaming. So if people are going to the creative streaming category and are searching for you, they're not going to find you if you're offline. So that should be the incentive for you at the beginning and later on the watchers. There we go.
So I recently, last year, I got a really welcome art computer, and I was super excited to start streaming from it. And then when I finally started streaming from it, I was like, this wasn't necessarily meant for that. And there's a lot of stuff about I wanted to think about having a camera, base cams, and all of that stuff. But I was not sure what kind of equipment I should use. That just being not playing video games, but stuff for just drawing.
Yeah, I know that a lot of very popular creative streamers, they don't actually use a webcam, but it should be just about what you think is a better way. I have to say that, if I have to be honest, when I was watching a lot of streamers and seeing them grow, people with, if you consider your voice good, then having no camera can be actually better, because your voice is doing the job already. When you're considering your voice to not be that much of your selling point, and it's more about, you have a cool setup around you, or you're wearing cool clothes or something like that, then probably the camera is better. I always had a problem with the fact that I couldn't accept that I have a very strong accent and my voice is not very beautiful. So I was always putting a webcam there just to have this additional incentive. But yeah, I watch a lot of streamers, especially creative ones, that don't use the camera, but their voice is making up for it. So I would leave it up to you, whatever you prefer. If you think that your voice is cool enough to hold the whole stream together, then do it. And if you want to set up a pretty cool background around yourself and stuff like that, because it's also very important not to stream from a couch with some towel behind you or something like that, because yeah, it's better to do one or the other. So whatever you think is the best for your channel. Here we go.
I know you already talked about kind of like stay positive with trolls, but
Thank you.
Your best, what's your best advice for dealing, especially with when you don't have as many viewers, when you maybe have like one person in your chat and they come in and they're saying really creepy things to you?
Ban them. Just ban them. Like if it's just one person, if it's a very disruptive person, you gotta ban them. I am actually using a tablet to watch the chat. So I have the Surface tablet in there, or a phone or something like that, and I read the chat on the small screen, so I can actually touch it. And next to every nickname, when you are actually hosting a stream, you have this little ban icon, so you can just tap it and you can just ban people like this. Yeah, if you're being creeped out, there's no reason to go through it, and there's no reason to actually suffer just to get this one viewer in there and to make him stay. Just ban him.
Yeah, well, now it's too loud. Yeah, I was doing some like sewing streaming a couple times a while back, and I was one day, someone came in and started making creepy comments, and I did ban them, and then I think it was probably the same person that came back with a different account, because it said like Sock Puppet 82 or something like that.
Oh my God, I see.
And that would kind of really put a damper on it, and then a couple of days later I was streaming something, somebody else came in, and it was just like, it's kind of discouraging when you only have one person, and you're trying to talk about whatever in your life, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna ignore you, but this kind of like...
I get that it can be very problematic, but maybe you can ask a friend or someone, because usually the first watchers that you get on the channel are your friends and family.
Yeah.
That's what I did. So you can ask a friend to help you out in these times and just be there to ban that person. Give that person a sword, make him a moderator or her a moderator, and just make that person ban all the intruders. They should get discouraged. If you are not giving them any sort of incentive to go back, like you are actually getting super angry or super sad visibly, because they do want these reactions usually, then they will get bored after a while, and they will go to other streamers who are getting very angry at them, because that's the reaction they want to trigger. So yeah, I would recommend to get a friend to ban and relax. I know it's hard sometimes, but we gotta keep a calm. Yeah, there we go.
Do you have any tips and tricks about how to get viewers who pop in to stay in your channel? I used to have a huge problem with people who would ghost me for giveaways and free stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of my numbers would come from just those people who would tap follow one time and then never show up ever again. So I don't really have like a huge interactive audience, but I do notice with my numbers that I have people who pop in, watch for a couple seconds or whatever. So what can I be doing better to get those people to stay?
Well, there are things that you should do and the things that you shouldn't do. There are a lot of streamers who use the tools to get the info about the lurkers, and they actually call them out. I always say that calling out the lurkers is a super creepy thing that streamers do. And for me, when I lurk channels, I don't want to be called out, and I want to just stay in the shadows. But that's one thing that you shouldn't do. On the other hand, you can just, try to be constantly, as I say, yada-yadding, constantly trying to be entertaining, which can be hard sometimes, which is why I personally prefer to do very short streams at the beginning. 2 hours was my max. I was stretching it longer and longer after a while. But on the other hand, you shouldn't worry about it because it happens a lot. I usually on my typical day get like, around 100 watchers, and sometimes I get raided or I stream a very popular title, or something happens and I suddenly have 3,000 people, and then I never see them back, and I'm like, wow, I dropped from 3,000 to 100. Wow, that's sad. But it's something that happens on Twitch. People come and go. I actually had a lot of people that came by to my channel after a year of not showing up, and they said, hey, I watched you a year ago, and I thought I will come back to say hello, because I still sometimes lurk. And yeah, you shouldn't worry about it. A lot of people come and go, unfortunately, but if you manage to create this little team of regulars, it will help you keep going, and this will happen sooner or later.
So, one question I was wondering is, a lot of the video game streamers and a lot of the tutorials that I've seen about those setting up that kind of channel will say you can have either a variety streamer that streams whatever new game comes out that week or so, and you have to be like consistent about like making sure that people know that you're a variety streamer. And then you have others where like, oh, I only do League of Legends, or I only play Overwatch or something like that. And anytime they switch on to something else, they automatically lose a bunch of people, even if they just do it for a day, just to play something new.
Yeah.
In relations to creative, I was wondering, because my job is an artist, and I want to transfer that over to online so I could dictate, my hours and stuff like that. I do it year round instead of outside. But I also like doing making costumes, and I like playing games and stuff like that. And I wanted to be able to do all of those kind of things on the same channel. Do you have any advice for that? Is the creative streams, is that something that I should avoid or limit, or?
I am personally a variety streamer, and it's a hardship, I have to admit, because I am streaming a lot of gaming, a lot of creative stuff, music playing. I switch from painting to music to playing video games, and I do it constantly on a weekly manner, and I don't even have a consistent schedule in terms of telling people when I will do said thing, which is kind of a bad stuff, because I know that some people come to my channel only for creative stuff, others come only for music, and it is hard. That's what I have to admit, because I know a lot of streamers who focus just on one game or on one thing that they do, and they do it really well, and a lot of people come just for that thing. People like having their channels reliable with consistent schedule, and when they know what you will play, you have a bigger chance to keep them there. The problem is, though, I'm personally not that much motivated to do only one thing forever, and that's why I know that I have to switch things to keep myself inspired, keep myself motivated, and keep doing this. So for me personally, it's more about not, going where a lot of viewers are, so not going for the popularity, but mostly going for consistency in streaming in general. I know that I wouldn't stream on that particular day if I wouldn't be able to do a video game, because I really feel like doing video games right now. So if I can pull off a stream that day because I want to play a game and I won't be doing a creative, it's still better for the channel than not doing a stream at all. So for me, I do have to admit, variety streaming is difficult, and it's way more difficult than streaming one thing consistently. But if you feel like you really want to showcase a lot of things at once, just go for it, because it's way better than just burning out.
So is playing music in the background of a stream, is that a good idea? Because I've tried that a couple times and got muted by Twitch.
You will be muted, and it's kind of illegal, so I shouldn't tell you to do that. But a lot of big streamers do this. The thing is, Twitch is still a little bit in the gray zone in comparison to YouTube, which is just going hard on with the DMCAs every time you put the music in there. Twitch is very much in the gray area, as they are not allowed to keep the copyrighted music in the recordings, but no one can actually check that during the stream. So they will never mute you live, they will always mute your VODs. For me, it's especially difficult when I play Rocksmith, because I do that a lot in my streams, and all my VODs are totally muted. I just stopped caring for that, because people, a lot of more people watch me live than they watch my VODs. The VODs usually is on every Twitch channel. It's just a little percentage of the viewers. So they had to understand that I wouldn't be able to pull off the streams if I would, care about it. So I had to just go on with it. In terms of if you're actually drawing something or doing something creative and want to play music in the background, I also do that, I have to admit. I know it's a little bit in the gray area, but it really helps in the moments when you're very focused on your work and you just don't want to talk for a little while and you want to just focus. And the music in the background really helps. I would recommend to check out, there are tons of websites online with royalty-free music, and Twitch actually has a music database for you. So if you're really worried about your VODs being muted, just use the royalty-free music, because there's plenty of it online. Maybe someone from the background in there. I think we're overstretching with the time, but no one is kicking us out, so we can do it.
So streamers, particularly creative ones, are forced to self-promote quite heavily. Seeing as the platform was initially designed for gamers, what's the one thing you would like to see added to Twitch to help creative gamers or creative streamers grow?
That's a good question, actually. I think Twitch is doing a lot already with the creative section, because they saw that it actually brings them viewers and it brings them new people, new faces. So they are putting the creative streamers more and more on the main page. I would love to see a corner on the main page when I can always, no matter of the time of the day, to see a creative streamer there. When you go to twitch.tv, you usually see 6 channels. One of them is sponsored. Others are either chosen because they're popular and they're doing some cool incentive right now, or they're coming from the partners queue. There's a queue for all the partners that just goes on all year long with people going in and on the main page. If there will be just one corner in there for the creative streamers, always, at any point of the day, that'll be perfect, because there are some people who come to Twitch only to watch creative. Unfortunately, as much as creative was really pushed by Twitch back in the days when it came up, now it's a little bit pushed away by the IRL, because IRL is bringing the biggest watchers to Twitch currently, and the biggest streams out there are IRLs, which is kind of, something that really weights on the popularity of creative channels. But yeah, if Twitch could care a little bit more about creative over the IRL, it would be great. But on the other hand, I can understand that from the business perspective, because creative is bringing less viewers right now than IRL, so they're caring about that other one more.
So do you think that promotion is more important right now than features?
Yeah, promotion, and creative streamers do have a lot of chances to get some spotlight on Twitch's Facebook and social media and stuff like that. If you do something cool, you have a bigger chance to get spotted. I actually got partnered pretty early just because I was creative streamer, and I was found by the creative admin on Twitch that was just looking through the creative streamers and giving us partnerships way earlier than they would give the gamer streamers. So we got a little bit of an upper hand back in the days, and that was really good. If that still happens, I don't know, because of the IRL, but I wish it did. All right, any other questions, guys? I think we're all, there's one more, last one. Okay, let's do the last one. Also, thank you so much, guys, for sticking around. We're overstretching, but you're still here, and it means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thanks for taking my question. I guess, in your opinion, do you find your overall layout of your stream to be important in terms of maybe new people finding you, or if you change things up? I know personally, when I used to stream here and there, I used to try and jump around what I was doing, so I might change up the layout. But I know for some folks, they might not have nothing, and then they get a bunch of viewers, or some folks where, let's use you for an example. If someone's scrolling down the creative pages and, there's a chance that they might pass you, just because they get that little picture that Twitch will give you, and they'll say, oh, there's not much going on, just your face and then whatever else.
Yeah.
Do you find the layout, or not just the layout, but everything else that comes with the stream, like the donation alerts, follower alerts, all the other bells and whistles, do you find that to be, somewhat important with, how you want your stream to look as a whole?
Yeah, I have a funny story about it, actually, because one day on the April Fool's Day, I was doing this thing where I changed my channel from Outstar to Cute Star Walker, and I turned myself into the stereotype girl streamer. So I was wearing a pink wig, I was wearing fake boobs, and everything was just extremely pink. My camera was taking half of my screen. Everything, the layout was just a mess. The donations were this big. Everything was just a walking mess, and I never had this many people coming to my channel. So yeah, I have to say it is important, but I do have different overlay on almost all of my streams depending on whether I stream creative or whether I stream Rocksmith. When I do Rocksmith, I usually have this, guitar stuff, like guitar amp and stuff like this. When I do games, I keep it to minimum because I want the games to take the most of the screen. And when I do painting, my camera is usually very small, so people can see that I'm on the tablet, but the most of the screen is taken by the picture, by the painting. And for the painting itself, if you guys are drawing on streams, I would recommend to go to the coloring phase as soon as possible, because colorful thumbnail brings a lot of people in, and that's for sure. But in terms of overlay and a huge frames or something like that, I'm not really sure if it's needed. Then again, yeah, I did have that April Fool's Day accident, but I do think that in general it is very important to give the content the most space. Whether you're doing a game or painting or coding, just put that on the screen for everyone to see. Don't make it small, and you should be somewhere in the corner as an addition and not really taken over it. And also the lack of camera and the lack of overlay is good, although people do love notifications, so don't forget about them. If you're doing a stream, I really recommend using Stream Elements. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but Stream Elements it's just a very, very easy page to set up your follow notifications, donations, stuff like that, and you can make a very nice looking things with it. So that's all. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking around. I do tweet a lot about streaming on my Twitter. That's my handle. If you guys wanna follow me, I'll be very appreciated. And yeah, you can come by to the streams later on after I come back from MAGFest. Thank you so much for sticking around. Bye.